Okay, Mahan, this is just a quick run through what I'm doing. Want to bear through the whole thing? It's up to you. Most of the stuff is on light vortex astronomy, is what I'm using for settings and stuff. I've always kind of preferred doing all the pre-processing myself. I haven't tried the new script that they put in here, so maybe it does a better job, but I got better results, it seems like, doing it myself. So, just a little old school. I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. I just shot some darks and bias and flats last night. So the first thing I am going to do is take care of my bias files, which I'm going to stack. These are the settings I'm using here. Uh, and again, this is all straight out of Light Vortex. You can take a look at those. Okay, so I'm going to add some files. And let's see, I'm going to go to my C drive. I just did this inside on the desktop. APD images, camera. Whoop. There's my biases. Okay, I did 40 of them. And I'll just run that. So I'm going to, this is all Unity gain. This is why I'm doing all new stuff here. It's cold enough now that I can run minus 20 degrees. And I used Unity gain, which I usually, the default for the QHY is like 170, 174.77. And I'm using 139.21 on narrowband. I'm just trying to get a little bit more, what's the right word, dynamic range, just to see. I'm shooting at f4 so I can get away with a lower gain. Just trying to mix things up a little bit, see what I can do different. I'll go ahead and pause for a second. Okay, I'm just about done here. Alright, dog has to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm clearing up a little room on my SSD while we speak, so this is going to slow things down a little bit. Computer, volume 3. Okay, so there's our bias. Control A. See a little bit what my bias looks like. The QHY is pretty famous for having that strip across the top. It's usually the only reason I even use bias is because of this. I will calibrate my flats with it. And I might try something a little different today with my darks, but I'm going to go ahead and save this. Save as. We're going to go to QHY. We're going to go to Unity. And let's save this as a 20 to bias Unity. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. Now this is the exact same setup for doing your darks. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my darks, which I only did 10 because I did this inside, and I had my camera inside a cooler with a bucket of ice, and it still could barely only hold minus 20. It's doing it like a champ outside at night, but I should have done this last night, but I was tired. Okay, so I'm going to run that. And this is going to take care of my darks. These are 5 minutes, 20 degrees, Unity gain. And I'll go ahead and pause again. Okay, so my dark looks like. Now you can see this, a lot of the, you can do the dark by itself without using bias. And this is most of the bias in here. And you will see it pull out, a lot just by doing the dark. But again, it doesn't have that strip like the bias does up across the top. You can see the amp glow. So that worked pretty good. We're going to save that. Let's see, we're going into Unity, and I'm going to call it 20 degree 5 minute. Okay, so that takes care of that. Okay, so now we're going to do some image calibration. And we're going to add some files. I'm going to go over to my flats, if I can find them. 103. Okay, put the flats over onto the SSD already. So I have to find, because I didn't rename. I'm so used to using SGP now that I can't remember which filter is which. Here, there's filter 4. I want 5 and 6. There's 6. So that's my 03. Open. We're going to lose the master dark, lose the master flat. We're going to put in our master bias, which is unity. And we're going to put these and run that. Okay, I went ahead and took care of the HA flat also. So we're done there. From here I'm going to stack them. This is my setup for stacking the flats. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over here. And we're going to go to 4, flat cal. Okay, these are the HA. It's filter 5. And let's take a look, see what happens here. Alright, there's my flat from my HA. So I'll just save that. And master, we'll call this 8-inch HA. Okay. Clear that. Add some files. Let's go ahead and hit my 03 here. And off we go. Alright, there's the 03. I went ahead and saved it already. Okay, so now we get into the nitty gritty. Let's go ahead and do a little calibration. I'm going to go to 104, do my HA. I'm just going to run through this for right now. I'll do the 03 later. But we want to start a new folder. Okay, 104 HA cal, master bias, same. Oh, no, actually, I'm not going to use the bias on this one. Let's try the master dark. Okay, don't want to optimize. Found that's what the old script was doing. Even if you unchecked this, it would still optimize it, and you end up leaving your amp glow, which I don't want. So let's go ahead and put flat in here, and we're going to go with the 8-inch HA, and we're going to cal. Okay, here we go. See what this shit ends up looking like. I ran into some weird problems with calibration files that I shot with SGP, and then I shot lights with APT. This is from the day before yesterday, and SGP put some different fits metadata in there that for whatever fucking reason, I don't know, it did not want to work. So everything I'm doing today has been shot with APT. So hopefully they're going to get along. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, I just crashed my little recording program here, so trying to pick up. I'll try and splice them back together later here. Okay, so I've got the HA all calibrated. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. I'm going to go to, I got a couple different stacking routines I use. I know for larger image sets, a lot of times they say to use Windsorized Sigma clipping, which I don't, and I'm not doing normalization on this one either. I don't really, shouldn't need to, but I'm using average Sigma clipping, scale 0 offset, pixel rejection, let's see, 4 and 3. Let's take a look at it and see what happens. So I'm going to go to my registered files, take a look here, and let's see what happens. I don't know, I had some really bizarre shit going on the other day that I can't explain. Like I say, using the SGP and APT files, there's something in there that, I don't know, maybe it's a PI problem, maybe it's, who knows. But I was getting with some really screwed up looking files. Hopefully this works everything out. At least I'm not getting any weird errors. I was getting convergence errors and all this other crap, and basically getting stars and nothing else. So hopefully today I'm going to have something to work with. I'm going to take a pause for a second. Okay, this all goes fairly quick. It's nice working with mono files. They do work a lot faster than the one-shot color stuff. And let's just hope for the best here. Okay, we got a file. Let's see what happens. Control A. Boom, there it is. I got me a jellyfish. Noise isn't too bad. Looks like everything, yeah, see, I still got some amp glow there. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. I'm going to try a few different things here, but that's nothing I can't work with. But just from there, you can do some, I'm not going to get it too involved until I actually mess with the 03. That looks okay. I was getting a little funky guiding last night. It's not horrible. I've had worse. But really crappy seeing. I need to get a different guide scope. I don't think I ever really want to go OAG, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a break here and work on some of the other stuff. Okay, for shits and giggles here, this is one of the things I wanted to try today. I'm going to go ahead and calibrate my 03. And I'm going to go ahead and use bias on this one. Normally, Craig Stark read big articles saying don't use bias and darks because the bias is already in your dark and you're subtracting it twice if you do that. Um, and you're actually injecting noise into the thing. So what I'm going to do on this one, and I've never really tried before, is I'm going to go ahead and take bias, but I'm hitting the calibrate checkbox here. Now this has already been calibrated, the flat, so I don't have to fuck with that. And again, it would come and try back. If you were to calibrate it, it would try to remove the dark, and that goes into the optimization part thing, which has never worked for me. If you optimize, you're definitely going to get amp glow in there. So I'm just going to calibrate the master, so that should remove the bias from the dark before it removes the dark from the thing. We'll see. And take a break. Okay, I did that. Oh, and shit, I think I didn't change the directory. Let's take a look. Registration. I probably just put them in with the HA, which ain't the end of the world, but 104 HA Cal. Yep, sure did. Okay, not the end of the world. They're identified, so usually I keep them all separate. And I always register stuff separately. I know I could register all of these off of one image, and I generally don't. I like to do each filter separately. I've found that even though PI is really good at registering stuff, when you start getting really bad halos and stuff, especially in the narrowband stuff, that it's because it just cocked a little bit or something like that, and you start getting really bad halos, and it really improves it a lot if you do the filter separately. So I'm going to go ahead and I need to put this, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the same folder, and off we go. Okay, I got those registered. Go back to my stack. Add files, come up here, reg. We're going to take my 6s. I only shot 20 of these. I was getting tired last night. I just shut it down. Everything was starting to frost up anyway, so. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, there's my 03. And I still got the amp glow. So, I'm not really sure. I was having a hard time keeping minus 20 here in the house, even with the cooler. I think I'll have to do it out in the fridge next time or something. Because it's cold as shit at night. It's like 68 here in the house, so I had to put it in the cooler to even get it down to 20, and then I ended up running between minus 20 and minus 15. So, again, nothing I can't work with. So, that's the 03, and we're going to call it that. Okay, get rid of this. So, there's the HA I already had. First thing I want to do is do a little cropping. So I'm going to come down here. Dynamic crop. And we are going to get rid of that little shit in the bottom there. Try and kill off some of the amp glow. Okay, crop that. Go ahead and crop the 03. Wait a minute. Let me back up here. What I want to do first is register, because I registered each filter separately, I need to register these two together. So what I'm going to do is come down here, I'm going to use HA as the basis, and register the 03 to it. Okay, so there's my 03 registered to the HA. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this fucker off. Yeah, see how we, big difference there. So now, we'll do the dynamic crop. And let's go ahead and crop the one that needs it the worst. Good enough. Drop that on the HA, and then click that. Okay, now we got registered stuff here. Now, I want to do a linear fit. That's kind of like the color calibration for a narrowband. Take the brightest one, which is 03, drop it on here. Drop it in 03. This is going to kind of match up the intensities. Alright, so, Control A. There, that should be our good. I'll save it at this point. Wow, mommy's home already. Gonna take a break. Alright, so I got them saved. Let's go ahead and kill that off. You can hover over each other with these, kind of get an idea. Yeah, we got a good, good setup there. Alright, let's go ahead and let's get a ballpark figure what they're going to look like here. I'm going to go ahead and do some noise reduction and everything else first, but I'll just give you a quick. We're going to go with this HA. Well, there you go. I've got a lot of work to do on it, but that's not a bad start. I'll go in and do some noise reduction and do the dynamic background extraction and all that stuff, but you get the idea. Yeah, see, it's got to do some work on the noise, but yeah, the stars come out real nice, no halos, or very few, very little. That does a lot. It helps a lot, like I say, when you register them separate. Alrighty, that's it for now. Signing out.